The first strikes with Russian missiles. The first use of Russian and Iranian Shaheds to terrorize the civilian population. During the first year of the war, Russia actively used its advantage in long-range weaponry. The game, as they say, was one-sided and completely satisfied the Kremlin. While the Russians methodically plunged Ukraine into darkness, the Russian rear did not feel the war. But Ukrainian long-range drones corrected this injustice. Now, domestic UAVs fly thousands of kilometers. To date, drones on a regular basis completely destroy military airfields, enterprises, oil refineries, and other strategic locations. And most importantly and unpleasantly for the occupiers, Ukraine continues to develop in terms of the effectiveness and quality of aerial attack means. So far, the Russian Federation is only familiar with the flowers. The acquaintance with the berries, or more precisely the wild strawberries, it is yet to come. It turned out that under Western limitations and restrictions on targeting and striking Russian territory with their long-range weapons, it was indeed the domestically produced drones that, in fact, allowed Ukraine to start responding to Russia's regular massive shelling.
In order to somehow bring this war to a stalemate, to transition it, one must learn not only to repel enemy attacks on the front line, but also to suppress their logistics and aviation. Therefore, it became necessary, and I am not even mentioning, the need to strike at the military-industrial complex enterprises and the energy system of Russia.
It is precisely these types of targets that the armed forces of Ukraine targeted with the arrival of the first long-range drones. Once deployed, this weapon is capable of striking at distances of thousands of kilometers. One of the main points of pride for Putinists. The vast territory of the Russian Federation turned into a huge disadvantage. After all, the larger the territory, the lower the density of air defense systems. As a result, Ukrainian drones freely reach the Russian city of Murmansk and the Olenya airfield located nearby. The concept of a vast territory which is simply impossible to defend with the air defense systems Russia currently has is at first glance an inconspicuous, but nonetheless important detail, is how drone strikes have forced the Kremlin to irrationally allocate its available resources.
We provoked Russia into using all their short-range systems which were supposed to cover the troops. We provoked them into, well, remember the drones that almost fell on. Putin's office hit Moscow directly on the Kremlin. They were, of course, purely symbolic and could be seen as a joke because they didn't even carry any significant explosives. But after that, 2 circular air defense systems appeared around Moscow where all possible pantsers and Tors were pulled from the front line.
And it is at this moment that the new Ukrainian rocket drone Palianytsia takes the stage. According to experts, when comparing Palianytsia with Shahed, the Ukrainian drone has a much larger warhead and also speed.
One moment, if the Karjeta carried 12-15 kilograms of explosives, this one will carry more than 100 kilograms, or even up to 200 kilograms. 4 Shaheds exceed the speed of Shahed by twice. The speed of the Palianytsia is estimated at 350-400 kilometers, twice the size of a Shahed. The Shahed has 50 kilograms, twice as much more. The payload capacity depends on the square of the speed, the lift force, square of the speed. Twice the speed, 4 times the load. That means these drones will carry serious charges that will not just penetrate the roofs of enterprises, but collapse them inward onto the workshops.
As of today, almost all information about the new Ukrainian long-range missile drone is classified. It is known that the development of the Palianytsia was completed phenomenally quickly in just a year and a half. The Palianytsia is one of 3 products that belong to the namesake cluster of Ukraine's missile program. The first successful combat use of the missile drone, which is an element of the cluster, was announced by the President of Ukraine. On August 24th, the drone is launched from a ground platform. The Palianytsia is much faster than long-range drones. The warhead is dozens of times larger. The UAV is equipped with a turbojet engine. And within the range of this weapon are 24 Russian military airfields.
I want to emphasize once again, our new armed solutions, including the missile Palianytsia, are our way of acting for now. Some of our partners are delaying their decisions. Our decisions and those of our partners must work together, and only in this way can we achieve our common victory together.
More than 100 kilograms of warhead open up new possibilities for Ukraine. Absolutely new, unimaginable until recently, capabilities in striking Russian military targets.
The jet drone is already far ahead in the terminal phase. It can already climb and dive onto an airfield, such as to break through the runway, explode beneath it, upheave the ground under the strip so that they would have to, as they say, do it themselves, guys. Yes, remove the runway surface themselves, level the ground themselves, and then, rebuild the strip, reconcrete it. That's about 5 days of work. And during this time, other drones can shoot down all the planes at the airfield because they won't be able to go anywhere.
So to speak, if previously for the complete destruction of a target, Ukrainian drones needed to hit explosive objects which greatly amplified the explosion's effects, the drone operates completely independently.
Its speed brings Ukrainian production of unmanned aerial vehicles, combat ones, to a new, strike level. I mean, it takes it to a new level. So now they will have access to protected underground command posts, protected ammunition depots, airfield runways and workshops of military enterprises and other strategic facilities.
The cost of the drone is also classified. In comments to the Associated Press, Ukraine's Minister of Digital Transformation, Mikhailo Fedorov, stated that the cruise missile costs less than $1 million. However, Ukraine is working on further reducing the cost of weapons. In this matter, the military is turning to private companies to help further reduce production costs.
The next step will be to expand production in the upcoming phase. I definitely think this will be a revolutionary game changer because we will be able to strike significantly where Russia does not expect it today.
And it is also worth mentioning the first Ukrainian ballistic missile, notably about the successful test of which Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky recently announced.
The credit goes to our dedicated and skilled people who work tirelessly around the clock 24/7 at Defense Enterprises for the successful use of the first Ukrainian ballistic missile.
And this in turn means that as a result, in the very near future, in response to Russia's massive drone and missile strikes against Russia, protected air defense systems which currently struggle with much cheaper and simpler drones will be deployed. Ukrainian rocket launchers and ballistic missiles.
In the context of these drones, launching more expensive launchers will be simply wonderful. As a rule, the effectiveness of Russian air defense, they say there that they shot down 47 drones, although we launched 20 drones, of which 4 were shot down. Well, say this.
The effectiveness of Russian air defense fluctuates between 20 and 30%. If our new Arsenal channel link is in the description below the video,